Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2 is a 1987 sequel to the 1984 original. It's also basically the 1984 original, but we'll get to that later. Part 2 is written and directed by Lee Harry. The film follows on after the events of Billy's death. Seems his little brother Ricky wishes to carry on the need to punish the naughty. Will he finish what his brother started? Will this film have redeeming quality? Where will the series go after this? Stay tuned and find out as we take a look at Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2 and see if the sack has finally run out of goodies. We begin towards the end. Ricky is locked up and we can tell he's dangerous as Jay Aubrey Island here has his eyes glued to Ricky harder than a German climate protester with some sand. In enters Dr. Henry Bloom, played by James Newman. He's here to interview and maybe help Ricky. And for the next 40 minutes of this hour 28 film, we simply have good old Ricky to recount the first movie.
I was just a baby and Billy was only 7. But he knew all about Santa Claus.
Yeah, this footage you're seeing right now is from Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2, which is showing us footage from Silent Night Deadly Night Part 1. Sure, we get running commentary from Ricky, but this is almost as bad as Carnosaur having a guy in some sort of orange raincoat just so they can recycle footage from the first film. I mean, at least Goblin Slayer Goblin Crown had the excuse of being a first-time film. I mean, geez, there's 10 minutes of credits, so you basically get 30 minutes of meaningful content. I will say, though, that the interactions between Ricky and Dr. Bloom are highlights, and honestly, this idea isn't bad at its core. It simply becomes rotten when I'm watching unedited scenes of the original, parts that Ricky simply cannot possibly remember or have been there for. Now, I suppose Billy told him about the killer Santa, and the rest he could have heard from news stories about Billy's rampage, but some, like these two bully characters in the first film, he's recounting stuff that isn't as easily waved off. But anyways, 40 minutes into the film, we finally stop recounting the prior film.
You're good, Doc. But I know all the moves. I could squash you like a bug. You don't scare me. Not yet.
And this is the start of some confusion. See, the family that adopts Ricky is the Rosenbergs. Ricky is called Caldwell in this film. The family from the original was Chapman. I'm guessing this film didn't have the largest window of operation. Anyways, Ricky is adopted, and we learn that Mother Superior left her mark on him as well, to the point 2 nuns walking down the street managed to terrify him, and I'm sorry, but this is just silly. So these 2 random-ass nuns are just marching in lockstep. Ricky, shitting his pants, tries to get his stepmom's attention. When he finally does, they dip into his alcove. Mother doesn't see anything, and then they step right back out. No one walks like that, and these nuns aren't evil. They're just 2 random nuns. Now, one bit I don't know if to call clever or not, but when he sees the red, he has flashbacks to the Santa who the cop shot in front of him from the first movie, though they managed to fuck this up by referring to him as a janitor and not the father of the school. Oh, and while it was the nuns that scared him, what truly becomes his kill code is the color red, and it abounds throughout the film. Talking about his first kill, there's a red blanket, red flowers, and a red Jeep. Said Jeep is then used to run over the rapey man while getting, I suppose, a more reasonable response compared to Pamela from the first film.
Thank you.
We also get my legit favorite part of this film.
Going too fast for you, Doc? Red car. Good point.
Fast forwarding to his later years, we learn that he got a job doing the dishes. Why do these guys keep reminding me of me, but without the rocking bod? Anyways, he sees a shakedown happening, and the man picks a fight with Ricky, who does an equally stupid, yet memorable, kill.
Naughty.
So, you remember how in the original it actually took a fair bit to send Billy into Killer Santa mode? I mean, he had to be dressed up as his nightmare and then witness a rape. Even a little alcohol was involved, and since we saw him turn down alcohol, he probably had little resistance to it. Well, Ricky just needs the color red, to the point the good doctor hides his handkerchief. But enough of this modern plot, time for a bump from the past, as we both learn how Ricky met his love. And how he handles rude assholes in the theater.
Oh, stupid. Next thing you know...
Shh. Naughty.
This is Jennifer, played by Elizabeth Caton, while Ricky handles the jackass in the back. Chip, her ex-boyfriend, played by Ken Whiteshirt, moves in. Shame is he's already with someone, but boy does he want Jennifer back. So much so that he'd happily antagonize the clearly prone to anger problems Ricky. This death leads to Jennifer's death, and then a very strange cop death. Then, we hit the rampage this film is known for. Ricky functions on that Red Dead revolver logic, as he just starts nailing people minutes after acquiring his revolver. Also, I'm fairly certain that vehicle is not meant to be that close. And of course, there's the infamous scene.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
No one mentions it, but I love how he lets the little girl live, and is weirdly wholesome about it. However, all deeds must come to an end, and Ricky, he's willing to go out with one final bang.
No! Don't do it! No! It's not worth it! Don't be a fool! Don't do it! Don't kill yourself!
Congratulations, you survived your suicide. There were oh so many who went before you that tried and died.
No more bullets. Young and stupid.
You can give this film a ton of shit, but it actually had him fire 6 shots exactly. If nothing else, that has to bump it up a point. Well, anyways, that brings our story to a close, and shockable shocks, this too was a flashback via tape recorder. So, Detective, yes, just Detective, played by Ron Moriarty, and Sister Mary, not Margaret, played by Nadia Wind, realize the orphanage is closed, and Mother Superior lives alone after suffering a stroke. And while, yes, the actual building was torn down, and these characters are meant to sort of be the captain, Sister Margaret from the first, they are shocked to discover the brother is going after Mother Superior. So, killing one Santa, he steals some clothes, and heads to the Superior's residence, and yes, the address is 666. Honestly, she might have some sort of demonic thing going on, because a stroke does not make you look like a poorly done acid attack victim. Anyways, he bashes in with a Shining reference, and the two do battle. Or, well, as much as one can do from a wheelchair. When the cops arrive, they find Mother Superior sat at the table. Food must be the die for, as she is in fact dead. Ricky leaps out at Sister Mary, but is gunned down. Once more, we end on sequel bait. Made on a budget of $250K, would go on to gross $154,323. Originally on VHS and Laserdisc by International Video Entertainment in September 1987, it would later be reprinted for VHS in 1992 by Avid Home Entertainment. Its final release was on Blu-ray December 11th, 2018 by Shout Factory under its Scream Factory label. While the DVD special features were unable to get Eric Freeman for commentary due to the scheduling problems, he was able to lend his voice as running commentary on the Scream Factory Blu-ray. Until 2020, this film was banned in the UK by the BBFC. Now, while this film doesn't have controversy to the extent of the first film, it had some problems of its own. Namely, what the hell was going on with the aggressive reuse of footage? Well, for starters, the producers of the original film wanted director Lee Harry to simply remaster the first film, with only some minor additions of Freeman as a mental patient. However, Harry wrote in several small portions showing Ricky in his youth. These additions wouldn't make a full feature film, so the two plans were put together to make this film. But what about Freeman and his 130 eyebrow raises? I'm not joking, he actually does that many. Well, his acting was a mixture of three directions. See, he was constantly being given contrasting directions by Lee Harry and co-writer Joseph H. Earl during filming. Freeman himself wanted to play Ricky as a cold and emotionless person. Harry wanted a wise-cracking, almost Freddy Krueger-like character. And finally, Earl wanted Freeman to be overreacting to everything. He wanted him to chew the scenery. Needless to say, this cocktail resulted in what you just saw. And to be fair, I like Freeman in this role. Yeah, it's goofy and a bit strange at times, but I've legit known people with tics like the eyebrow thing, so it's not that impossible for me to take seriously. There was another actor considered to play Ricky, but he gave everyone the creeps, so Freeman was chosen. During the Rampage in the VHS copy, you can see the entire crew and equipment. However, later versions crop this out with only some visible. What's still visible is the change to a stuntman, though I think that car is still a little too close for comfort. Finally, the creators of this film had one last usage of the first film. During the theater scene, the movie they're watching is literally Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 1. You know, this might sound crazy, but I legit suggest this film. If you've watched the first, then skip the recaps, but the rest of the film is gold, and I legit enjoy it. Some may be turned off from its problems, but it all comes together like lightning in a bottle. This film has been cemented as one of the poster children for the so bad it's good subgenre. I can't really suggest it as a Christmas film, as for the majority, and not counting the interview or first movie stuff, this doesn't take place during Christmas. He only puts on the suit 10 minutes before the end. Honestly, though, the strangest thing is how this is literally Metal Gear Solid 2. Like, hear me out, okay? We have a different protagonist taking up the majority of the first half. We then switch to another protagonist. This protagonist now undergoes a semi-similar but sped-up series of events like the original protagonist's first outing. The rape murder, the bully murder, the rampage, and then a final 1v1 showdown that involves two characters with a past dating back to one being a child, and then it ends basically the same as the first. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is the MGS2 of movies. There's no way anyone else made this observation.
You can call me Henry, or if you would feel more comfortable, you can just call me Doc.
Fuck off, Doc.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.